We out here. Oh, what's up? Thank you, Afan. How's it going? No, I turn that off. Okay. Okay, cool. What do you guys think? New camera. New camera. Stop the stupidity, dude. 5 gifted subs. Stop the stupidity. Oh my gosh. Brother, thank you so much, man. Oh my gosh, your generosity is amazing, dude. Thank you so much. Genuinely, I really, really appreciate you. It's hot in London. Nice. Well, I'm happy that you're getting to see the sun enough, Afan. You got to, it's probably a good thing, right? Or is it a bad thing? Is it a good get to see the sun or a bad get to see the sun? Oh, dude, stop the stupidity. Thank you, man. Yeah, for sure. I'm assuming your gender. Apologies, but yeah, dude, you're starting it off right for sure. Thank you so much. All right. Yeah, I finally got a different camera for all my cameras are the same now. Kathleen, thank you so much. Thank you. Welcome. I couldn't stand that this camera, the center camera, was like lower quality, and it was annoying. And I got something planned for my other camera. I'm going to try to increase the production value a little bit. I want to be able to like show and draw things on camera, on stream. So, because I think that we're going to be doing that a lot. I think we're going to be doing that a lot coming up. I think that's the idea. Yeah. All right, dude. Dr. Blitz was on Raging Tomato. One second. All right. Okay. Gotcha. Stop this meeting. Thank you. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. Hope you guys are having a good night. Welcome. It is an awesome. Thank you, Helen, for the gifts. Thank you. Yeah, guys, everything's going well. I wanted to just peek in real quick at the Dr. Blitz appearance on Raging Tomato. I'm so curious how it went for him. So,
picture of something as mundane as the backside of the moon is probably good evidence to know.
Is that question position, and I think you actually mentioned this, you're not saying that it couldn't have been formed.
The world wasn't created is the throwdown question. So basically it's Dr. Blitz on the Raging Tomato in the panel now debating that, and they're asking him about these questions.
Saying that a mind specifically was not something involved in that forming.
Yeah, my position is that it formed via some natural gravitational process.
Okay. And so in that, I think the hardest question for anyone to answer in these types of conversation is going to be the one that I like. Do you know what the backside of the moon looks like?
Yeah, I've seen pictures.
So you've seen
So weird.
pictures of it, but you don't know.
I mean, by the same token, I could say that like
Yeah,
I don't know
yes.
that Australia exists because I've never been there.
Right.
But
Well-
like obviously Australia exists, right?
Well, Australia is fake too. We all know that.
Except for our friendly Australians that come in the chat around 2 a.m. We love you, all of you.
They don't
We
know that
believed
they
in
still
you.
live on a
CIA assets.
But the truth is that you don't know, and I don't know, obviously, without that personal experience of seeing it happen. Now we go by the evidence, right? To provide proof for ourselves.
Well, careful. Evidence never provides proof. It provides you reasons to believe things. But for example, suppose I went up to go see the backside of the moon. How do I know it's not like a hallucination what I'm seeing? Or how do I know it's not a projection or a NASA CGI, right? Like the point is you can get evidence in different ways. I think that seeing a picture of something as mundane as the
Dr.
backside of
Blitz
the
is
moon
awesome,
is probably good evidence to know, quote unquote, what the backside of the moon is. And when I say no, by the way, I don't mean with certainty. I mean you have a good reason to believe that it's true.
Are there valid answers to be provided?
Dude, there has to be, right? I mean, like, think of this reasoning. Like, if there's no way of ever knowing without actually being there, like, why even have police? Why even have homicide detectives? Right? I mean, what would they ever be able to tell you? Were you there during the event? No. Okay, well, how could we know? Like, you know what I mean? Like, there's independent evidence that we can corroborate from multiple sources to ascertain, like, in better know things over time. This isn't rocket science.
For what's at the backside of the moon?
What the backside of the moon is, where do monarch butterflies go when you see them flying off? Are there
Oh my
valid
gosh.
answers?
Yeah, of course. I mean, like there is a fact of the matter that the moon is a certain, unless you think that all of reality doesn't exist, which that's
Right.
separate.
So
Exactly. It's a solipsist, right? That's what a solipsist is, where it's the argument is literally nothing exists outside of my head. You know, I mean, come on. Have you ever took a plane in the air with only the objectives to jump out? No, I have not.
separate
So at
conversation.
some
There
point
is
we do need a
something.
conclusion, right? Right.
Right,
We
so
need
the
an actual
question is
definitive answer.
Can you be certain of that conclusion? That's the problem. And I think that
Yeah.
you can't be certain, but you can be damn close.
Yeah, I think well, see, that's,
Oh, nice.
That's why I wanted to open up with the back side of the moon thing, because this really does open that up. Can we be certain? And this is the question: can we be certain of what the backside of the moon looks like? And the answer to that, to me, is yes, because I could actually perhaps go to the moon and then go around to the backside of it.
No, you could hallucinate. You could be out of your mind. You could not be able to see some type of wavelength where there's something there that you can't ascertain. Like just you yourself actually is one of the worst evidences that I would argue. Like your personal experience can be altered very easily. I would not say that it's a good idea to say nothing is concrete until I experience it. You know, that's very dangerous.
That'd be
But how do you know that your brain hasn't been hijacked by aliens sending
Yeah.
false images to your eyes, even if you're standing there?
Exactly.
well, yeah, I don't do the brain and the bat thing either.
Well, so my point is that like, I mean, like I agree, like the world exists, but what I'm saying is that there's an epistemic gap, and it like I think that we're gonna have a really hard time saying with certainty that we can really say anything about the world, but
Right.
we can operate as if we have certainty. Like I would
What's the
100%
best
agree.
What's the best way to do that? What's the best way to do that?
I would say the best way to do that is using the scientific method.
The presenting of evidence, right?
Yeah. It
Right.
can increase your credence
then-
to astronomical proportions, so that you're so close to certainty. Perhaps not there, but you're very close.
Right, and that's where belief and knowledge come from, right? Providing the proofs or the evidence so that we can come to a conclusion or confidence in
Yeah.
the proof. And the proof
Absolutely.
that we certainly, as an individual, obviously I can't, tell you where the water is and make you drink. I can tell you where the water is, but I can't
Sure.
make you drink, right?
Just to be clear, and
Yeah.
like this may sound like a semantic distinction. I do distinguish between proof and evidence. or proof
Yes.
and confidence. You can prove things in mathematics. You can,
Fair enough.
but I try not to use the word proof when we're talking about like the world around us, because you can prove. You don't really prove that gravity exists. You just provide really compelling evidence that it exists.
Yeah, and that's
Yeah.
fair. And the person has to decide for.
Well, you can't be 100% truthful of anything. Hey, Dave, how's it going? I mean, you can't be 100% truthful about anything, right? That's kind of the whole point. But I mean, this is where I feel like science is so weak, in our communication skills. I think that we're saying the technical truth, but in everyday parlance, it's you something that you're 99.99% sure of. You would just say that's a thing. But the problem is that science looks weak in those positions and says, well, you're not 100%, so therefore it's 50-50. It's like, no, that's not true at all. It's not 50-50. It's definitely 99-1, and it's so frustrating. We need to figure out how to communicate. It's not just communicating the science, but it's communicating the certainty. Like I try to ask questions and stuff of people when I'm debating, and at least in myself too. I try to think like, as a poker player, what would I give the percentage chance of this being true? Like, what is the chances of this being true, right? Vaccines being safe and effective, 99.99999999999 repeating, right? Evolution, 99.999999999, right? Whether or not there are parallel universes that exist in the world that, are alternative dimensions or whatever that theoretical physicists and mathematicians have somehow devised. That I can see, okay, I'm not that level, I'm not that level of confident. You know what I mean? I would say that's maybe, I don't know, 60-40, 70-30, maybe, but science talks about something, and then now all of a sudden everything is lumped together and people think that there's the same. Hey, Ducray. So it's very tough. Street epistemology. Yeah. I think that's important.
Themselves. And that's why I like that you came up here with this topic here. Obviously, like I said, I don't agree with you, but it is valuable for me and, well, everyone else, for you to be able to present your evidence, and then they can make that decision based on that. Now, when it comes to the evidence for the Earth not being created, I don't see that, right? So what I'm saying is, what you mentioned
talking specifically about the Earth.
Yeah, the Earth, right?
Okay, yeah,
right.
sure.
Yeah, because like I said, we can go to the Big Bang or even evolution, but when we're providing our evidence, some of that evidence might be the mechanisms, right? Now, I know you mentioned gravity and a gravitational process, but it is possible that the Earth, regardless of whether gravity exists or not, whether there's the weak force or not, whether there's the nuclear forces, whether there's all these, these four forces, all these things happening all the time, regardless of that, it is possible that it just came into existence without that, correct?
Yeah, so
but what is that percentage of happening? That it just happened to come to be without any natural mechanism? Like, what is that percentage? Like, science gets there with mechanisms all along the way. We have evidence of it. We have, corresponding experiments with it. We're 99% sure. We're like 0.011 seconds after the Big Bang, like in our knowledge, versus you just don't know.
I mean,
come on.
Now I have to be annoying. We have to ask about what modal scope we're talking about with regards to possibility. Is it logically possible? Sure. Logical possibility is very cheap. Basically, everything is logically possible.
Yeah.
If we're talking about physical possibility, absolutely not. There are laws of physics that prevent it. And then if you want to talk about some other modal scope, like some sort of metaphysical possibility, that I'm it's not clear what metaphysical possibility means. But suffice it to say, even if I grant that like there's some scope in which it's possible, I don't care if it's possible. I need the evidence.
Perfect evidence.
Yeah. We only understand through our perception. Where does that perception come from? I mean, neurotransmitters in our brain, man. I mean, we understand through outside of our perception too. You know, like for example, we have technology that allows us to perceive things outside of our senses. So we aren't limited to 400 to 700 nanometers in color. For example, we have eyes that are limited in those wavelengths, and yet we have devised ultraviolet and infrared cameras where we can actually see now outside of that. So it's not just through our perception. It's actually more than that.
For you to choose that you're going to believe it, for proof, for confidence, whatever. So that's kind of the same way I feel about the extremely old Earth as well. Because the thing is me personally, I recognize that there's also the possibility of what we might call multiple dimensions. I think that there's scientific theories on how those would actually exist.
I'm so curious what Dr. Blitz has to say about this. This was a lot of me debating the physicist PhDs at the bar in grad school, going like, come on guys, there's no give me a break, you know. So I'm so curious what he says here,
and how even possibly to get to those places. So when it comes to more specifically the
Dr. Blitz's reaction, there is no theory on how to get to those places.
So when it comes to
he's like, what?
More specifically, the Christian ideology, and I know not everybody in Christendom agrees, and there's some folks like me who actually don't do the whole like as a whole Christendom thing either. But for people like me, I see it as a realm, right, or another existence outside the bounds of the physical realm, where the physical realm is something of a creation. So obviously, like, this goes into what caused everything, but specifically the Earth as well. So the possibility of another dimension, realm, whatever you call it, certainly is something that's discussed in scientific circles in theory. And that's really the way that I see it. And that for me,
what in the world
as well
is he
as many
saying?
other Christians, is referred to as the spiritual realm. Does that make
Yeah,
sense?
he just does a bunch of gook, man. What are you talking about, dude? Just because you don't know everything, therefore that's what we think that is something, and then that's what that's what we're talking about. It's the thing that I wish. It's like, what?
Sense.
Yeah, I mean, my contention is, and you know, I'm allowed to be. I'm not going to be mean. I'm allowed to be blunt, right? Yeah. So, like, my contention is that if you wanted to come on and
Dr. Blitz
argue the claim that
how cute Dr. Blitz did not see my Raging Tomato, my Raging Tomato appearance.
there isn't a creator, the worst way to do it is to argue that the Earth is quite young, because, like, if we're talking about evidence, it just is the case that, you know, all of the scientific data that we have points to the Earth being extraordinarily old. I mean, like, we could...
Bro, you can literally count layers of ice core samples, and you just count 1 to 800,000. You're just counting winters in the ice core samples. So the idea that you somehow need, like, you don't even need radiometric dating in order to go back hundreds of thousands of years. The idea of it being 6,000 years old is a joke. It doesn't make any sense.
We could talk about radiometric dating. We could talk about ice core samples. We could talk about fossilization rates. We could talk about there's a thing where we can measure the lengths of a day over the course of geologic history. and how the length of a day has changed over, since the Earth has had a moon.
Oh,
Because of
interesting.
tides, basically. So there are an extraordinarily large number of different ways that we can show that the Earth is much, much, much older than 6,000 years. And
I
so
think that's a horrible argument.
Easy.
Somebody-
Not yet. Not
Hold on,
Okay.
Joe. We're just going one at a time.
okay, and so
Oh man, see, no wonder they like me on here. I'm like, this is what I'm talking about, guys. What's up, AMDZ? How's it going? What's up, Kelly?
all I'm saying is that, and we could get into the details of these, but like it seems that as far as the things that we typically accept as evidence, if we're in a court, right, you would want to go if you find what you would call circumstantial evidence. It's not bad evidence. Like if you find somebody's blood at a scene, well, that's evidence that they were there, right? All of the kinds of things that we would use in court are the kinds of things that we would use in a scientific investigation, and all of those things lend themselves to an old Earth.
Now, I want to examine that for a couple of minutes,
Now.
or not even a couple of minutes, maybe a minute.
Yeah, I would say start working on your wrap up.
Yeah, but when it comes to that particular process, it's a reliance on radio dating. Right?
No.
Or radio.
Well, it's
No.
not just radio dating.
No.
Okay.
What
else is there?
There's something, and there's a name for it. Basically, there's a kind of layering of mud that happens.
And ice core samples. Preston Bastion, how's it going? Do they think some of these panel members make them look better? I think it's like a core crew that basically are there constantly. They do these debates like multiple times a week. And I don't know if Clay is like a content creator or some of these people are. I know some of them are. But the most of them aren't. It's just kind of like them like hanging out with the Sarah, the Raging Tomato, and then her stuff. No, I don't do research on bloodlines. No, not really, man. I'm more of a geneticist, so I'd be looking at like sequencing data, so, but I really don't have any, I don't have any genetic predisposition to find out who my heredity is. I just see myself as American. Oh, cool. Nice, Preston. Nice. You saw my live on here. Cool.
In certain lakes. Let me see if I can find it. I have this somewhere.
Well, even within the
it's called a Varve. That's what it is.
Varve.
Varve.
So a Varve is like a deposition of sediment at the bottom of a lake, and it forms seasonally. And you can basically think of like the plants or like the algae at the top. It's going to grow more in spring and summer, and then they die off in winter, so they sink down to the bottom, and then more grows in summer, and then it dies off. So
What is this? This is what he was talking about. Varve. Varve. Varve is an annual layer of sediment and sedimentary rock. The word varve comes from the Swedish word varve, means connotations including revolutions and layers and circles. Okay, so yeah, it's just like a dang. So it's kind of like ice. It's just like the contraction, the freezing and thawing of mud. That's interesting. That makes sense.
you can see like seasonally these layers deposit. And there's a lake that we can see in Japan that has like 75,000 layers of seasons happening. And so like, and you can go look at ice cores and you can see seasonal changes there, and you can see hundreds of thousands of layers of season changes happening. And so it's not just radiometric dating. Radiometric dating gets us to 4.5 billion years old. But if you look at basically any branch of science, you'll get to more than 10,000 years old.
So what specifically was that called again?
It's called a Varve, and the lake is called Lake Suigetsu, if I remember correctly.
Suigetsu.
Yes, Suigetsu. There's actually a museum there. It's in Japan.
China? Oh, Japan. Okay.
Yeah. There's actually a museum there because they it's not a global wonder, but it's a really neat thing.
Even still, like, so you're going by the layers of the Varve, but then you've also got carbon dating, radio dating, which ultimately, there's a problem within radio dating. I wanted to
No, there's not.
Yeah, we
chat about that just a sec. And
like it just blows my mind, dude. Like there's a problem with radiometric dating. Like, bro, you believe in a sky god. Like, what are you talking about? You believe in a sky fairy, and you're telling me that there's a problem with radiometric dating? Like, come on, dude. What are you talking about, brother? Give me a break.
Why is there this massive gap of distinction when it comes to? I think you know what I'm talking about. Massive gap that presents itself. It's like 50 to 5,000 years, or 5,000 years to 500,000 years. What is that about?
What do you mean gap?
So when
There's literally
when they
not,
do
dude.
the dating, specifically, they're watching the isotopes, right, and their decay rate, and they watch it for X period of time.
Yep.
But then they calculate, 500,000 years. How do they watch it for, even, I'll give the entire span of all of these theories that have more or less been going on 200 years. I'll give like a whole 200 years.
Radiometric dating was first proposed in like the early 1900s, so it's at best 100 years. Yeah,
100 years. I'll give a whole 200. How can you
Sure.
watch something for 100 or 200 years even, and then decide all of a sudden that what's happened 500,000 years ago?
Oh my god.
So it's because we know the principles, right? The nature of radioactive decay is fairly well understood at this point. There are a few different kinds of radioactive decays that can happen that are common. There's alpha decay, beta decay, gamma decay, and then there's a few other kinds that are less common. But we know the mechanisms. We know why they happen. We know what makes them happen at the rate that they happen at. This has been pretty well understood since basically the 50s. And so you don't actually need to look at
75 years behind.
Or, like, let's just take, for example, uranium. A certain isotope of uranium, uranium-235, has a calculated half-life of about 730 million years. Now, you don't need to wait 730 million years to know that it's going to take 730 million years for half of it to decay away.
But how do you know? But how do you, if you're not there for 735 million years, how do you know?
Because what you can do is you can take, I don't know, 10 grams of the stuff, and then you can put a Geiger counter next to it, and you can count how frequently is it decaying. And because we know the mechanism of decay, we can then use that data that we take for an hour, a week, whatever it is, and we can use that to extrapolate.
Yeah.
Using these known laws of physics to how long it would take for the entire 5 or for 10 of those grams to decay into 5 of those grams or whatever it is. Yeah. And this works. This mechanism, by the way, works extremely well for basically all of the radioactive isotopes that have short lifetimes. So some radioactive isotopes only live for a week, and those you can just see. And if we use the same method on those, we get the answer right. So we therefore have good reason to infer that when we use the method on something that decays slowly, we are still getting the answer right.
Okay. No, and I'll pass it off to somebody else. I just want to make sure to say this.
You don't know what you don't know, man. You don't know everything, so don't. There could be a God still, so don't be afraid to change your mind.
The things that we propose could happen in the future doesn't necessarily mean that it's happened in the past.
What?
That's it.
Okay. So that the nature of an entire world could have been completely changed somehow in some way by God, and he did it nefariously. He's messing with it.
Fair enough.
I mean, I'm not going to rebut something when there is last words. Like, you can have the last words. It's fine.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. You guys can have fun a little later.
Have a chivalrous, very chivalrous.
Feel free, give your thoughts, so on and so forth.
Yeah, I didn't really hear anything. I want
to. The guy that was saying that radiometric dating was wrong. I wanted him to jump up. What's up, Hazel?
Contradict. I'm glad he's here to put this information out, because we got quite the audience that I think could hear it, even though they're going to really fight you tooth and nail for it.
Good. At least they'll listen, I hope.
So now I'm here to root for you more than anything else.
Boring.
Such a thing, our universe just doesn't.
Because we're not that freaking smart. We're still microorganisms. We're tiny in the scale of things. We haven't been around.
Dr. Blitz's face. Blitz's face is like, it's definitionally not wrong. Microorganisms is everything that we have to see only through a microscope. So, I mean, in the scale of the universe, we're small, but definitely the microorganisms has a definition, and we're not a microorganism.
On the blink of an eye. We have limited receptors. Your eyes, nose, and so only can experience certain things. We are incomplete to be making judgments on big things like this through the gates. And I'm going to want to ask you some things about time later too. Is it even real? If it's so fucking pliable, is it even real?
Is time real?
That's an interesting question.
Space time is. I'm sure Blitz is thinking about like space time, and Einstein being that they're not two separate things; they're one thing. I think that's what he's thinking about. I'm not 100%
Right,
sure.
I think that there's a pretty straightforward answer, but we can get to that later.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
Fair enough.
Right. All right. I can't watch this entire
Of
thing.
life. That's where it somewhat
Yeah.
at least appeared in. Do you think that? How many times do you think that happened?
I have no idea. It could have been a million times.
Right.
It seems like it's not so easy to make it happen because we've been trying for like 50 years and but I don't think that we do. Like horizontal gene transfer is a feature of microorganisms.
It's a
As far as I'm
feature
aware.
of humans too also.
What? What? Horizontal gene transfer is possible with humans. What?
Than I was if it's assuming it's a new environment. By that your particular
So you're
line
not
has
really
never
getting-
Oh, it's Balderson.
encountered in any way, shape,
People
or
are
form.
not
You don't
getting
suddenly
horizontal gene
become
transfer from corn.
Oh, okay.
stuff.
So horizontal gene transfer is a thing, but that
It's because of the glyphosate resistance with the bacteria. There's someone that actually linked that in my Discord too. I don't know why people think that glyphosate resistance is being horizontally transferred from plants into bacteria in your gut. Like what? I'm so confused.
That's because we all live in the same, and we are all eating out of the same stuff. We're all touching. There's a thing called horizontal DNA transfer. We're all living here. We're all bumping each other. We're all breathing the same air. We're all eating each other's poop and dead bodies.
It's like just straight to the dome, dude. Just straight to the dome. Oh, woof. Yeesh. What in the world is he talking about? What? There's no way, dude. There's no way. There's people like this that exist. Like, why not just like talk about the right thing? Why not just talk about the right thing?
And everything's just a recycle. Yeah, everything you eat, Sarah, is all out of dead things and poop. Yeah. And the poop is really just that thing being dead, and the animal actually processed it a little faster than it would have out in the field, and then it actually works out much better. But
it is
we're
the case.
all
Horizontal
living
gene
off of
transfer is-
recyclings of the same stuff.
So horizontal gene transfer is a thing.
I can't. This is so funny. This same guy was like super conspiratorial for my thing, so I'm not surprised.
But that all that gets you is that these two things are like the same kind of organism now, right? If you have two organisms that exchange genes, so that now they both have the same genes as each other, they're the same gene, they're the same organism.
But they aren't the same organism. They're
They're the same
that's
species.
not-
let's say.
you don't turn. You get horizontal DNA.
Blitz is wrong on this one too. It's okay. He's not a molecular biologist. This is like way out of his scope, and like you can definitely put in insect genes DNA into a plant and run that protein, through there. You can take a human gene and put it in bacteria and run that bacteria gene, a human gene in a bacteria. That's how we make insulin. So it definitely does exist, but he's like Balderson's basically so out on left field here talking about this stuff that it's kind of like a very odd
DNA transfer from a corn stalk that you walk by that you've never.
that is not
You're not really getting-
that is not that is not
encountered in any
happening.
way, shape,
People
or
are
form.
not
You
That
don't
is
suddenly
not-
become corn.
Corn.
Yeah, you get horizontal DNA
No, you
transfer
don't.
for everything you eat,
No, you
touch, and
don't.
everything.
No, you don't.
I don't think
And
that's
your,
the case.
that
But
your
I'm not a
body,
biologist. Maybe
your
I'm wrong
body
about
makes
that.
micro
It's
adjustments
not.
according to that, which is the function of it. Because then now I've lived in this environment, and now my progeny later on are going to be more suited to this environment than I was, if it's assuming it's a new environment. That's
Oh my
that's the
God.
way
I think
that
it's, and we can just fact check this, but I don't think that we do. Like, horizontal gene transfer is a feature of microorganisms.
it's a
as far as I'm
feature
aware.
of humans to also.
No.
I mean, I'm not sure why that claim, but you know, we don't have
It
to
is
fact check that, so it's fine.
100% not. It's not.
So is the
It's
claim
not.
then that you could have two microorganisms that evolved
That's
completely
so funny.
separately? They are completely separate branches of life, and yet they are compatible enough that they can exchange genes?
If I dump out a box, 100%. We're all living in this same
What?
place that's only has a limited number of elements, a limited number of all these kind of things. We can't vary that damn much. You
Oh my
can't be
God,
something that
dude.
survives that doesn't exist here. Yeah, or even thrives in it. If it kills it, we both had to kind of have those functions built into us because we're living in the same environment.
Oh,
So
And
how would you
we're
test this
bumping each
hypothesis?
other.
guys, this is what happens. Oh, stop the stupidity. Another 5 gifted subs, dude. Thank you so much. Let's go, bro. Thank you so much. Guys, if you are not hanging out in YouTube chat, you got to go over there and hang out. Stop the stupidity. Thank you so much, man. This is the problem, guys. This exact same line of thinking that this guy is going with is the problem with Joe Rogan, right? This guy is listening to way too much Joe Rogan. Like, yo, man, we're all just poop of one another, and you know, we're all the same DNA, we're all the same ACTs and Gs and everything. It's like what, bro? Like, how can you, like, it just gets so out of left field. You have no idea what you're talking about, man. Like, and the same guy is super conspiratorial and anti-vaccine, by the way. So not surprising, but man, it's so annoying. I think I just watched that last episode of Rick and Morty. Exactly. It's like, what are you talking about, man?
How would you test this hypothesis to check to see if two different organisms came from different lineages, evolutionary lineages?
Yes, dude, great questions. Dude, it's so good, man. You can tell, like, Dr. Blitz is a very good researcher because he's applying the same principles that he would apply to physics, but he's doing that with other questions in biology that's outside of the scope. You know what I mean? He's doing a really good, you can tell the way he thinks.
Right, you just make you do like they do, where you just make this weird assertion, like you're just.
That's what we do in science. We just make a weird assertion and then we just go home. That's all we do. That's just what we do. That's it. We just make weird assertions. That's it. Come on.
It's just a mind exercise.
Mind
You
exercise.
understand that
Sequencing is a mind exercise. Sequencing, ladies and gentlemen. Sequencing is a mind exercise.
What you're saying is near impossible. Like it's shockingly impossible.
It doesn't sound like you're giving me a way to test your hypothesis. You're just saying, but the other
No,
guys were all
Yes.
how would you test it?
This is so good. This is so good, man. It's the philosophy in Dr. Blitz is so good. This is called falsificationism. Anything that you cannot prove with a hypothesis, you can discount. You really can, guys. This is in Karl Popper. Check it out. I mean, he talked about this, and this was in a time of rampant snake oil salesmen, anti-intellectualism, and Karl Popper basically said anything that cannot be proven with a hypothesis can be completely discounted. So whatever this guy is talking about, that we're all poop of one another and we're all the same, can you test it with the hypothesis? No. All right, then we can just discount that, like, entirely. You have to make a testable claim, right? You have to have a testable claim in order to actually understand the mechanism of how the world works, right? You have to be saying something worthy of testing, and he just isn't. It's just conspiracy isn't worthy of testing, so it can be discounted.
There's no way to know
Well, that's
even
what I'm
how many.
asking.
There's no way to even know how many species have popped into existence.
So
how
the
many
position is
different?
unfalsifiable?
What's that?
So the position is unfalsifiable?
Exactly, dude. God, Dr. Blitz is so good, man. He is so good. That's exactly. He literally he fell into the exact trap that I was talking about.
It might be maybe only one thing ever popped into existence that was alive, and everything descended from it. Maybe.
Oh my God. No, that is not correct. That is not correct.
Maybe that
Well,
is
that's a
the way that
falsifiable
panned
claim,
out. We
right?
don't know that either.
That's a falsifiable claim.
How would we ever determine what happened in the beginning of the Earth?
So the last universal common ancestor idea makes certain.
I understand what you're saying.
Okay,
I mean,
so the idea of Luca is, it's at least a falsifiable position, but it seems like the position you're offering
Bear.
isn't falsifiable. So I just don't see why I should give credence to it.
Boom. Exactly. Guys, this is, if you don't know, you don't have to know every single fact in order to combat conspiracy theorists in your life. You just have to ask them questions like this. Very pointed questions. How would you test that? Walk me through how you test that. What's your expected results? In every single one of my evolution debates, I've done this, and none of them can even come close to coming together with a coherent experimental plan on how any of this works, and again, if the claim can't be tested with the hypothesis, meaning that it can't be falsified, which means it can't be proven wrong, right? That's what we do with science, right? We don't prove something is 100%. We say this isn't it. So this thing is not this. That's basically how we gain knowledge in science, and that's what Dr. Blitz is talking about right here.
Again, you can't prove. It's no different than the is God real. Neither side can actually prove what the hell they're talking about. I understand what you're saying, but you understand what I'm saying also.
No.
And so the claim that statistically that you're making is much less probable than the one that I'm making, because the chances of abiogenesis happening once and everything descending from that once.
It's not my claim. I'm making the claim that it could have happened multiple times, but that one thing ended up winning.
Why would these other things also not evolve? You're making zero sense. And if so, why is there not one singular species of thing on this place?
Okay, so look, if you have a petri dish and you take 4 slightly different bacteria, and one of those bacteria, just by sheer random chance, is slightly better at digesting food, then if you wait long enough, that entire petri dish will be covered by just that one bacteria, and all of the others will have died out. That's all I'm saying.
You need to run your experiments longer. So there's a neat experiment.
What? This is what I'm saying, guys. Like, doesn't even engage. He's not even engaging. He's not even engaging with the hypothetical here. He gave a concrete example of materials and methods, gave you an expected result. Like that was a full experiment right there. And you could even test it based off of what Dr. Blitz was saying with sequencing. That was a full experiment. That's a full thing. And it's just wild to me.
Called the Archaeus of water. And all you do is you catch rainwater.
Oh God. So he's going to do memory water.
Dark, and you give it an anaerobic fermentation, and you watch it under a microscope. And you watch
anaerobic fermentation. Okay. He's putting it water? What?
That some things will start appearing, and those things will live, and they're eating off of something you can't see because your microscope's not that badass. And
what's lower than 5 nanometers? 1 nanometer. We can see bacteria. We can see viruses. Like what's underneath there? Like what is up there that's not that?
fucking then the next things appear and they eat those last things that appear, and there's still some of those, and then other things appear and start eating those other things. And it turns out that these first things, they keep coming around because they're doing a little job, and it just all goes through cycles. Everything just like I just explained. Just explained with the thermophiles. Some of those things, those don't even have a predator. They show up, do their job while the conditions are right, and roll the fuck out.
We're not talking about thermophiles right now, bro. Like, and how did you hear about thermophiles? The microbiologist that you're shitting on right now? Now you're talking to them as if the extremophiles that they have found are somehow worthy to be talked about, but yet their fundamental beliefs in evolution is not capable of being able to be trusted?
How does this happen? I don't know.
How does this address what I said?
That your thing, the way you're stating it, this other thing is now gone, and we have one other thing, and this thing came out on top, killed all the other things.
It will.
There's more than one species of thing in this place, dude. I don't know if you've met it. Like, here, I got a cat here. Like, this is a cat.
The analogy that I was giving you, the example that I was giving you, is a simplified version of what I'm saying.
Yes.
It's just that, look, sometimes one thing is more successful than the other things, and it outcompetes its competitors.
Yes. I don't disagree. So why would there only in this entire world only be one thing that was capable of surviving? And
so if evolution was true, why isn't there only just one thing? Is that really his argument? Is that really what he's talking about? Because there's different niches that exist in the world, right? There's a niche in order to eat the thing that is the most proliferated, right? The thing that is the largest amount. One of them is going to be like, hey, why don't I attack that guy, that bacteria? And bacteria on bacteria crime will start popping up. You know what I mean? The bacteria will start eating, whatever substrate they have. But hey, if all they had was other bacteria, you'd absolutely be certain you would have bacterias eating other bacteria, right? That is what happens through evolution. If you simplify it, it should be out of context, I think. Yeah.
And then having an evolutionary chain where it's
not
changed.
The claim that only one thing was capable of surviving. It's that there was a thing that was most capable of surviving.
Yeah.
Let me put a pin in this one. Sure. And there is a sense of urgency to the chat because you didn't come anywhere near the goal, and the goal was actually set at half pace of what it normally is. So I'm completely disappointed. As the mother over here at Mater Nation, I'm incredibly disappointed. I'm not upset.
Did I do something wrong?
No, not you. You were great.
The chat has failed.
Yeah, it was your fault.
The chat has failed to meet its goal. I set a timer, and you have now exactly 8 minutes if you'd like to get to Gauntlet mode to get that sorted through. And again, it's half of the usual price because I was feeling nice tonight. And yet,
dude, look at Dr. Blitz's face, how ruthless she is with her chat, dude. It's so, I'm telling you, man, this is a bunch of MAGA dudes, and they love to be in this area, and this is how they treat one another. I'm telling you, push back on your MAGA relatives. They like it. They like it. Look what she's doing. She's doing some serious dom stuff right here. You know what I mean? Some consensual non-consent.
You have shit all over what we represent to get to Gauntlet mode. How fucking dare you? We might have to go into grift mode, but I want to hand it over to Chase to have his thoughts. Welcome to the panel, Chase.
I don't want to watch the entire thing, but oh my gosh, guys, that was enough. Oh my
God. But that's what you're facing. Big fat L.
It is. It has been a long time since.
Oh, I like there's so much. The AI video is so overdone, dude. It's so overdone. It's so overdone. Yeah, I'm sorry. Kind of over the AI like random video, or he's just like, really, dude? You know what I mean? Really? You're really sweet on MAGA, aren't you? Can't seem to stop talking about them. Yeah, because they're the president of the United States is MAGA. I don't know if you.
Welcome to Democracy Now! Democracy Now!
Stick around. Stick around. We're gonna be talking politics. Stick around. Democracy Now! The War on Peace report, ladies and gentlemen.
Welcome to Democracy Now!, democracynow.org, the War and Peace Report. I'm Amy Goodman. The United States bombed Iran for a second consecutive night after President Trump declared the ceasefire over. Blasts were reported near the Bushehr nuclear power plant and in multiple cities across Iran, with the U.S. saying it struck 90 targets, including near the Strait of Hormuz. According to the Iranian Health Ministry, at least 14 people have been killed since the U.S. resumed bombing. Meanwhile, Iran says it's retaliated by attacking U.S. bases and strategic centers in Bahrain, Kuwait, and Qatar. And Jordan's military said it intercepted 8 missiles in its airspace. Iran's chief negotiator, Mohammad Bagher Ghalibaf, says the United States, quote, still hasn't learned that bullying and breaking promises are no longer cost-free, unquote. On Wednesday, President
What is he thinking? I know. Why are we going to war with the Islamic Republic of Japan? It's so frustrating, Bear, because something like that would have just been months long coverage of all this stuff that's going on, showing how every Democratic president isn't serious. They can't handle themselves. But it's just something like that is so outrageous. It happens so often that it just flies through and we just don't even kind of like talk about it. And it's just kind of something that happens and you're just like, okay, well, I guess Trump like literally doesn't even understand the region at all. He doesn't know what's going on. But that's kind of standard, you know? Fox News would have been bananas. They would, I mean, it shows a level of unseriousness that Trump has, right? In regards to this, in regards to spending our billions of dollars, right? Of like wasting our money with this grand poobah strategy that he has that he can't even articulate, right? And it's ridiculous. It's such a joke.
Trump spoke at the NATO summit in Turkey and threatened to strike Iran's civilian infrastructure, saying, quote, they really deserve it.
Their electric manufacturing facilities, right? Their electric plants where they make their electricity in there. We will, if we have to, we'll take them out. I don't want to do that, but if we have to, we'll take them out. They have desalinization plants. We'll take them out if we have to. I hate to do that. That's probably the one I would like not to do, at least. We attacked Carg Island last night. We knocked out a piece.
Guys, this like he literally went to Congress and said that he is not doing any type of military operation in Iran. The whole point was that they're not doing that because this is all under the guise of the authorization to use military force. AUMF, right? And he's it's just wild. They're literally, he's just out here saying that he's going to do this, attack whenever, however. Like the thing that we should all be asking ourselves, if Iran is that big of a state sponsor of terrorism, why can't we get more international coalitions of countries in together with us to help? Why can't we get the United Nations involved? Why? What's up, Dean? How's it going? It's a joke, guys. It's a joke. Everyone knows it. This is like, and I really do feel like the Iran war it's the emperor's has no clothes moment. Like you either get it or you really see how awful he is and how he has no actual plan on any of this stuff, or you just buy this nonsense that he's playing 5D chess here. He totally gets it. He's actually 3 steps ahead.
Don't touch the oil.
President Trump was speaking alongside Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky during the same news conference. Trump mistakenly confused Iran and Japan.
I told this story yesterday. We had 111 missiles shot by the Islamic Republic of Japan.
We'll have more on Iran after headlines with Quincy Institute Vice President Trita Parsi. The body of Iran's Supreme Leader Ayatollah Ali Khamenei is being laid to rest today at a shrine in the city of Mashhad. It's the culmination of a multi-day funeral procession that's drawn millions of mourners, including foreign dignitaries and at least 8 heads of state. On Wednesday, massive crowds joined funeral processions in Iraq's holy cities of Najaf and Karbala for Khamenei, who was killed in a U.S.-Israeli airstrike on February 28th, along with his daughter, son-in-law, daughter-in-law, and 14-month-old granddaughter. Israel's continuing its attacks on southern Lebanon with reports of heavy bombings in the town of Tebbi. On Wednesday, Lebanon's national news agency reported 2 men were killed in an Israeli drone strike in Nabatea, Israel's latest violation of its ceasefire deal with Lebanon. This follows an Israeli strike on Monday that killed 4 people, including public school principal Esperanza Kandor and her mother. Kandor had returned to Nabatea to check on repairs at her war-damaged home following months of displacement when Israel bombed her vehicle in Gaza.
I just can't get over the gaslighting. I can't get over, and we really cannot let MAGA get away with the gaslighting and saying that Trump is this no new wars, that he's a different leaf, guys. He's turning it over, and we knew, obviously, everyone that didn't vote for Trump knew that he was lying. And now all these people get to have this moment where they kind of come out and say, oh, but it's not what I voted for, and that's the biggest problem, is that it's like he's just doing exactly what he said he was going to do. But this whole gaslighting, talking out of both sides of his mouth, he was able to say he's the loony president that is a maniac in order to do the craziest things, but then also at the same time he's the biggest peace president. Right? He's the biggest peace president of all time. He never started a war and all that kind of stuff. So it's like, it's we cannot it's so wild to me how it all is coming to fruition. And you already see MAGA kind of like coming out of it. They're not blaming, like, for example, I was on a panel today. They're not blaming Trump for this. Realize that, right? He's not blaming Trump. Like, MAGA is not blaming Trump for the Iran war. They're blaming Israel. It's some type of like Mossad double entendre thing. Like that's the wildest part, is that they always have a scapegoat, especially when you're anti-Semitic, right? You always have a scapegoat, and the global Jewry are all coming together, and they're all working in this global cabal. And it's so easy. It's so simple when you're anti-Semitic, because every malady can always be pinned on Jewish people. It's mind-boggling, and they're going to try it again. They're going to try this again. I don't think he cares about anything but himself, but I just mean he'd probably get away with a lot of shit if he did. Yeah, I agree. Marshmallow, what's up? He's totally going to get away with it so much. He and his team found all the cracks. I think so, Marsha. I mean, they have found a way to not hold Trump accountable, right? He's avoided accountability at every track, at every stop. So it's very frustrating. It's interesting how they played Trump as a strongman, but also controlled. Yeah, he's like a lunatic, like willing to do the craziest things, and nobody really. That's why all the leaders are scared of him. But at the same time, he's a straight talker. It's he is everything and nothing at the same time. Truly, this is what fascism is, though. Fascists own the truth. It's not just the truth isn't something that we can look at, we can individually come to, we can ascertain. No, with fascist, truth is a possession, and only they can have it, which is why they, right, go after fascists, go after academics, why they go after the media, why they go after people speaking out. Like it's all these things that allow them to dictate and warp and create this image, and it's so dangerous. It's so dangerous. Okay, let's go back. He's crazy like a fox, exactly.
Health officials report at least 9 Palestinians have been killed by Israeli airstrikes and gunfire over the last 24 hours. Among the victims, Ahmad Nasser Salim, a driver who was delivering food for the U.S.-based nonprofit World Central Kitchen. In Khan Yunis, an Israeli missile hit a tent for displaced people in the Al-Mawasi area, killing at least 4 people, including a 10-year-old child. One survivor said he was asleep when the strikes hit.
We were staying in the tents on the understanding that this area was safe and people live in tents. By God, I was asleep when suddenly a missile struck. We came here and found the impact. There were martyrs and wounded. People were carrying them to ambulances and they loaded them onto carts and took them all to the hospitals. A friend of mine, whose tent was next to mine, was injured, and his mother was injured too.
Meanwhile, human rights groups say a photo apparently taken by an Israeli soldier and shared on social media corroborates widespread reports of torture.
Wow.
The image shows a man stripped to his underwear, blindfolded and bound face down to a pole with his arms tied painfully behind his back. The soldier captioned the photo, "Good morning," in Hebrew, and later deleted the post.
Wow, that's
on Wednesday.
Grotesque.
Amnesty International appealed to U.S. Secretary of State Marco Rubio, asking him to secure the immediate and unconditional release of Dr. Hussam Abu Safia. The prominent Palestinian pediatrician, director of Gaza's Kamal Adwan Hospital, has been held by Israel without charge since his abduction by Israeli troops.
Pro-Palestinian. I mean, I definitely have always wanted the Palestinian people to have their own nation, to have their own. I'm definitely like always been like, on their side in that aspect. I mean, it's awful that the IDF is doing that. I don't agree with it. I mean, obviously, so it's grotesque. It's awful to see. Why can't anything be done? The Democrats have been forced out, right? In politics, they don't have any actual power, and that's the biggest problem, right? They don't have any governing power in order to stop this stuff from going on. So that's just what it is.
18 months ago. Amnesty says Abu Safia faces an imminent threat to his life due to torture and medical neglect by his Israeli captors. It's calling on the State Department to bring the U.S. into compliance with the Leahy Law, which prohibits U.S. financial or military aid to foreign security forces that commit gross human rights abuses. To see our coverage of Dr. Abu Safia, go to democracynow.org. Russian missiles and drones rained down on Ukraine's biggest cities overnight. Officials in Kyiv report 3 people were killed and several others injured. Among civilian sites hit was a 25-story residential high-rise. Elsewhere, Russian strikes killed 4 people in Odessa and 3 others in Kharkiv. Dozens were injured by the bombings. Elsewhere, Ukraine's military said its drones attacked 3 more Russian oil refineries, along with pipeline pumping stations and Russian tankers operating in the Black Sea. Ukraine's attacks on Russian energy sites have triggered acute fuel shortages. On Wednesday, the Kremlin announced a ban on diesel exports to support the domestic fuel market. Meanwhile, Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky held a series of high-level meetings at the NATO summit in Ankara on Wednesday, including with President Trump. who said the U.S. plans to license Patriot missile technology to Ukraine. Trump also said the U.S. would support Ukraine's efforts to strike deeper inside Russian territory. Russia's foreign ministry denounced the decisions made at the NATO summit, saying they could lead to a catastrophe. At one point, President Trump called Zelensky President Putin. In Maine, Democrats...
It happens a lot. It happens. That's not the first time. It doesn't seem like the Democrats are trying. I mean, it doesn't seem like people tried to vote for the Democrats in the last election. I mean, with how bad the numbers were, it doesn't seem like they came out to vote. So, you know, that's the sad part. You know, it's you can't invent powers for the out of power political party in the United States without any type of political or constitutional power. You know what I mean? Especially when you have a executive branch that is power hungry and wanting to be a dictator. That's just the sad fact.
Democratic Senate nominee Graham Plattner has suspended his campaign following a report he raped a former girlfriend in 2021. In recent days, most of Plattner's most high-profile supporters withdrew their endorsements, including Senators Bernie Sanders and Elizabeth Warren, as well as Congressmember Ro Khanna. Democrats had been hoping the populist Marine veteran and oysterman would unseat Republican Senator Susan Collins in November. In a video message posted Wednesday night, Plattner denied the rape allegations, said it was part of an effort to crush his campaign.
Dude, the way that he blamed the global powers at B. Bro, I couldn't believe, again, another Mossad power play, guys. Like, I cannot stand this idea that Israel is like running the world. Like, come on, guys. Like, this is insane. It's not healthy. It is not healthy to have every single bad thing that happens to you to blame Mossad. It just doesn't work like that, man. It's so sad. Like, he could have just bowed out. It was obviously his own doing. Take accountability for your own actions. Say, hey, I'm sorry that anyone felt like that. Think of yeah, guys, genuinely think about what you would say if in your life felt like you raped them at some point. Think about how shocked and awful you would feel. You know what I mean? You would feel awful that anyone would possibly ever have felt that way. You know what I mean? It would be an absolute, like, mind-blowing thing. You would feel so apologetic and sorry, right? As opposed to his reaction, which is what? Mossad did it. Mossad's coming after me, guys. Like, what? Like, what? Like, come on, dude. Like, it just is that you did a really bad thing and you're getting called out for it. That it really is that easy. What's weirder is the consulting firm that found him. Did they know about this? Did they know about the Reddit, posts? I think that's a weird kind of questioning. I don't like where he came from in general is kind of an odd thing where he kind of got plucked by this consulting firm. That's a weird thing, but I just, and I said this last night and I can't get over it. I hate how every single Republican, sorry, let me start over. I hate now how every single politician, it's somehow a given that there's going to be some sexual impropriety, some rape in the background that we just all have to live with if you're a political dude. It's only with the guys. It's only with the guys that you have to worry about these skeletons in your closet that there might be some rape in there. Like, it's mind-blowing to me how every single male politician is like you just wait for that second foot to drop, and you're like, oh, I guess okay, all right. Like I knew, but when the first thing happened, when the first thing came out, I was like, man, there's gonna be more that comes out every single month that he's doing stuff like this. There's gonna be it's a because if you're doing that with your girlfriend at the time, you're pushing those boundaries with other people as well, and that's exactly what happened, right? He gets a text, and he thinks it's green light to go over there under any circumstance. Like like what? Like it doesn't matter that he's blacked out drunk. It doesn't matter. The fact is that he got a single text and he thought it was okay to just go on over his way, and that's what you get to do. Like what? Like come on, man. Exactly, Bear. Like, is there a questionnaire saying how many? 1 to 5, 5 to 10, 10 to 15? Yeah. Guys, I would be mortified. I would be mortified if anyone in my life ever thought that I had done that. Like the idea, I would feel so sorry. I would feel so like, what? Like, how can my brain be so different than what happened? You know? And it would make me really reconsider a lot of things in my life, probably, and be like, what? So the idea that he just like comes out, I can understand him saying that, like, in my mind, it wasn't like that, but in her mind, it obviously was, you know? Like, so that's what's so sad is like, there was a really good chance for him to be and say, hey, I screwed this up. These people that had put this time in my campaign, I messed it up for them. It's on me. It's not on anyone else. That's it. And unfortunately, we have to keep going through it. We have to keep going through this because men are, and this is exactly, by the way, what people say when women say it's all men. This is the feeling that you feel right now about do all men politicians have some background rape in their background that we are just waiting to figure it out? That is the same feeling that women feel when they're going out to the bar, and they just have to assume that it's all men that are having these problems, that could have these sexual aggressions against them. This is exactly what they're talking about. So it's unfathomable, man. I'm so sick of it. I'm so sick of people not being able to just focus. It's an unseriousness. It's an unprofessionalism. It's a moral problem, obviously, but it just goes to these like we need people that are actually serious about doing good in the world, and probably some guy that's just a fisherman that's not even involved with politics at all probably just isn't the right person to slam into a high stress, high impact position like a US senator position. Maybe that's just not the way that we do it. So yeah, Snaff, it's okay. I appreciate you. So absolutely, we have to take these things a lot more seriously. I hate that these consulting groups, it's wild to me that these consulting groups are actually influencing a lot. And Ducray, you're so right. I have to look into this. Letterman, Cinema, and Gabbard all came from the same consulting firm. That is wild. I have to look more into this. Who are these people? You know what I mean? Hi, Cyber. What's up? I mean, honestly, my first thing is like, how do we make a consulting group? Like, maybe this is something that Safe can do. Maybe we can find potential politicians in order to bring them back. But man, I really feel like I do really feel like this is a real true it's all men moment, and you definitely feel it. I definitely feel it. And you just I'm sorry, you just do not have women politicians with these problems. You don't. You don't have women coming out and being like, yeah, you know what? Got a little crazy in the sheets there. Whoops. Whoops. I guess yeah, I did have those bodies. Yeah, you know what? That was something that I did. You don't see that. Women don't do that. Like maybe we just we just let women elect women for a little bit and give them a chance, because this is I'm so sick of it. I'm so sick of these guys. Hi Ducray, what's up?
Hi. I have to double check to make sure that I'm correct about all of those, but like three of them for sure were like vetted by that consulting group. I have to double check on Gabbard though, because I'm not so sure about this my source for that one. Yeah, but I'm like, they're not doing great. It's like whatever they're trying to like achieve with this consulting group, they're doing a terrible job so far.
Yeah, I mean, there is. I can understand like what are they looking for? Like someone that has not been any type of political organizer, that hasn't done the work to actually build communities, or you know what I mean? Like really, it doesn't make any sense that someone that has no political aspirations, now all of a sudden you are in the thick of it on one of the most influential people in the country. Like, I mean, you're one of 100. You're now, you go from nothing to 1 in 100. Like, at least for me, and like someone like me, you could see like, oh, okay, well, I have, I have some experience political organizing since like 2007. You know what I mean? There's some, even for me, there's some history outside of me just like running for office. I actually have like some type of history. So the idea that this guy comes out and it just has no political history other than this all of a sudden, that just seems very odd to me. Do you know what I mean? I really don't get it.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like they're looking for a unicorn. They're like, they have like a set of metrics, and then they're using that and being like, okay, well, this guy hits all of these metrics, so he's got to be it. Right. But I don't know if those metrics necessarily translate well to like someone running for office. And like, why not look at people who have ran in local elections and like see what's there?
Yeah, exactly. Why would you go with someone that has no political experience whatsoever? That's what I don't get. I don't, at least you would have some like, some experience. It's just, it doesn't make any sense to run someone that has zero. I don't know. I mean, like, even like just thinking about it like a skill issue, right? Like, you, it just is a skill set in order to be an orator, a speech writer, a community organizer, all these different aspects. So the idea that there's going to be this consulting firm that can just pick these people out and be like, we're gonna do it. Let's figure out what other politicians did the Graham Plattner consulting firm bring forward to American politics, and where did they come from? Where did the consulting group company come from? So yeah, I mean, this is the whole thing. Yeah, where did they come from, and how did they vet the candidates? I mean, ideally, ideally it's the primary that does that, right? Ideally, it's the primary that does that. It's kind of up to the journalists, and in order to do that, and they arguably did do it. I mean, they found the tattoo, and all these other things out. So it kind of was up to that point. Um, they did find it. They did find it. So it's called.
Sorry, go ahead.
Okay. No way. The firm is called Flight Agency. The firm is called Flight Agency. It's progressive media and messaging shop. There was also a second advising firm, Brooklyn-based Slingshot Strategies, but Flight was the primary one. Where it came from, Flight Agency was founded in 2025 by operatives who came from the Bernie Sanders and John Fetterman orbits. Morris Katz, Rebecca Katz, Tommy McDonald, and Julian Mulvey, all veterans of the Sanders and Fetterman campaigns, founded the firm, later expanding to 6 partners, including Eric Stern and Lynette Jackson. Its lineage traces mostly back to Fetterman's 2022 Pennsylvania Senate race. Maybe they're trying to get back what they felt like they lost, where Morris Katz worked as a deputy media consultant against Mehmet Oz and Mulvey's earlier role in the Sanders Brain Trust. The explicit thesis was that controversial consulting was broken, and the firm branded itself around recruiting non-traditional, authentic outsider candidates. Notably, Katz personally identified and approached Plattner to run, per Plattner's own admission. That's wild. Morris Katz. The firm's and Katz personal roster of candidates, ladies and gentlemen: Zohran Mamdani, their signature win. Katz was a top advisor and made the viral campaign videos. Oh my gosh. He's the guy that I've been saying is a genius this entire time. The same guy that came up and did this. No way. John Fetterman, Dan Osborne, the Nebraska Senate 2024 independent. Katz was a key advisor on the campaign. Ruben Gallego, the Arizona Senate. Katz helped Gallego win his Senate seat close race. Abdul El Sayed, the Michigan Senate primary. Both current cycle Flight Agency clients. What? The through line is a vibes-based outsider recruitment model that critics now cite as the reason Plattner's vetting failures were missed. I mean, I've been saying it for a long time that politics is more vibes than anything. So I'm not surprised. You know what I mean? I'm not surprised that they found it. That's crazy that Mamdani is also on that list. That's what I've been saying though. That's what I've been saying, that Mamdani is mostly vibes. It's not actually. It's not policy that's bringing Mamdani to the forefront, and that it confirms it. That, I mean, even the consulting firm. Oh my gosh.
Do you think, when you say vibes and not policy, you feel like Mamdani never talked about like any policies or like what he was gonna do or what he wanted to do for New York City?
So his policies, okay, his policies are important for sure. He's very focused. He had an affordability campaign. That matters. What we're talking about, what I say is that it's about, sorry, Ukrainian feedback. It's about the way that is like that's being portrayed on social media versus what he's actually passed and what he's actually been doing. No, you're fine, Duque. That's the biggest thing. It's like it's his Mamdani took over the primary and the campaign not because of policies, but he did it because it was relatable, it was easily shareable, um it was a young politician that you felt like actually knew the issues that were being dealt with. It felt like he was honest. All these different things culminated, and does he have popular policies? Some of which, yes, but the vast majority of his popularity is not because of his policies. I do not think if people, and this is the exact wrong way that people are thinking about it, unfortunately, is that they think that they're gonna do the DSA stamp all across the country, and that is not the winning formula. The winning formula, and what we found with Mamdani, is that it pays to be open, honest, transparent, having honest dialogue, like bringing cameras in with you, like to places that's what like people really like grew attention to, not his policies necessarily. I think this consulting firm is focusing on candidates that at least viewed as outsiders with some progressive policies. I think they're focused on winning elections. I don't think that they're focused on policies necessarily. I mean that's what it seems like. That's what it seems like. You know.
So I okay, I think I agree. I'm sorry. I thought you were saying Mamdani was running just on vibes and didn't actually have any policies. And I would disagree. I would say he certainly had ideas and stuff for what he wanted to do for New York. But I would agree with you that people were like, yeah, this dude is like so cool and like friendly and happy and like good with comebacks. And, the first thing that really popped up on my social media was like that like remix meme of Mamdani saying it's Zohran Mamdani Mamdani. You know what I mean? And so like he's very memeable in a good way, so I agree with you. But I think what makes Mamdani stand out to me as opposed to somebody like Trump, like it was a lot of vibes, but it's also backed up by he has actual thought and consideration of like what he wants to do and plans on how to do it, right? Where like Trump we have concepts of plans.
But
but
Mamdani and Bear, you're right too. Mamdani was also a state assembly member before you ran for mayor, so he had some experience. True. Exactly. Mamdani is interesting on this list because it's like, why does he need to be on it? That's what I don't get. Why does he need to be on this list? He's not already doing the. Hey, Dr. T. He's like already. I thought he would be running for mayor like already. But
hi, Dr. T.
I like, again, it's not the fact that he's doing the policies. Mamdani, he's doing them, but it's how he's portraying them on social media that is the big thing. Again, like it's about execution of things that you pass and how they're being portrayed on social media. Those are the two biggest things, and the bigger thing is the perception on social media. It actually isn't even executing the thing, because you can actually pull the wool over people's eyes very easily with social media and say that you've done a lot more than you have, and you don't have to necessarily actually execute what it is. But in passing that law and passing that legislation, it gives you the ability, that leeway to lead with that and be like, yeah, we did do the thing that we did, you said that we're going to do, and therefore it is.
I mean, I want both. I want somebody who's actually doing the work and doing a really good job of messaging that they're like doing the work. I don't want somebody who's just all messaging, but actually like just sits like, I was gonna curse, never mind, I don't need to do that, but just sits around twiddling their thumbs, you know.
I mean, I think I think you have to yeah, exactly. You have to have both. There is no world where you can be a Biden and just pass all this progressive legislation and then not be a media figure so that nobody knows about it and nobody talks about it. Like that just doesn't work. That's a failed model going forward. So people have to pass legislation, progressive legislation like Biden did, but do something different afterwards, right? We have to like figure out what we can do. So some dumb beats says he already balanced the budget and they did the rent freeze. He was also viewed as an outsider with progressive politics. So but some dumb beats, like he didn't, like this is what I mean. Like you fell for the propaganda that he did. He balanced the budget over a 10-year period. When people say balance the budget, that means that their expenditures and their revenues are balanced, right? There is as much going out as there is going in, and that's not true. They literally had to get a loan from the state, and it's over a 10-year period of time. It's not balanced right now at all. I'm sorry, the budget in New York City is not balanced, right? It just factually isn't. But the fact is that they put out that video and that short where the first thing that he says is, I balanced the budget. Boom. And that's what people see, and it's instantly shared, and everyone knows that. And I saw that everywhere on TikTok. Everywhere's talking about, oh my gosh, Mamdani's already balanced the budget. That's incredible. It factually isn't correct, man. It just factually isn't. But he makes it seem like it is on social media, and that's what it matters. Guys, I'm telling you that this is. I wish that we were back, some dumb beats. Again, I wish that we were back in the place that we were reading the policy briefs. I'm the guy that was reading the 200-page policy brief memo book that Kamala Harris put out during her campaign. You know what I mean? Like, I love that stuff. But people on the left don't care about that. People on the right don't care about that. Like we just don't live in a political system that rewards that type of behavior. So why should the Democrats still be like trying to push out a policy memo? And why, by the way, why are you really asking yourself, or am I figuring out if I like Mamdani based on an Excel spreadsheet and me figuring out, sorting by, these metrics, and you're being really technocratic? Like, of course not, dude. Like, people are busy. They have lives to live. They're going to live their life through the social media feeds. They see a clip of Mamdani and they figure out whether or not they like them or not based off of that. And it's that simple. So, we're doomed. Democrats are doomed if we don't understand this. Steve Martin, how's it going, dude?
Hi, first time here. Nice to meet you. I like your really thoughtful analysis on a lot of this.
Thanks, man.
One of the things I think about Mamdani is like he has the benefit of being a national mayor more than just a mayor for New York, and that's. It's not a dig, but like he sets a national model for what it looks like to win from a very popular standpoint, and also manage a transition from a campaign as not only being the head of a campaign that's being elected to office, but how to manage not only your voters but your expectations when you get into the mayoralship. I don't think there's any worse example than the city I'm living in, Los Angeles, with my mayor. Is they most mayors govern by or campaign making all of these promises, and then they get in office, and then you see a lot of mayors act the way my mayor has. But Mamdani has found this really 21st century way of managing expectations through communication, constant communication, which most people need in the age of social media, and then delivers after he has managed his communication. Whereas before, I feel like politicians believed that they had to deliver and then they wanted to get in control of the communication. Yeah. And I think he's reversed. I think he's reversed that paradigm. And that has been very, very successful for him as a mayor, because, you know, a lot of times politicians, especially executive politicians, whether it be a president, a head of the county, a head of a city, they want to deliver the piece of legislation first, and then get in control of the communications. Where, you know, that has been a very unsuccessful model for the last 10 years in the face of the political headwinds that we've been in.
Yeah, I 100% agree. Yeah, I think, and it's really interesting how he's been, like, Mamdani's been shot into like a national role where he's kind of like the de facto DNC chair now. Like he's being
I would say head of the Democratic Party.
Yeah, the head of the DNC, Democratic Party, sure. Like the way that he was asked on Platner, you know, immediately, what do we do? What do you think they should happen? You know, like immediately, I was like, wow. I mean, it's deserved in the fact that he is in the same light, kind of a young politician running as a Democrat, but you know,
we haven't seen that since Obama.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, he is the. I think that Mamdani, he's in a way, because he can't run for president. I think that he could, but whatever. If he doesn't, he can actually kind of play this role of shepherding new politicians and trying to help, like, and show people how things are ran. Although it is interesting to know that his media campaign isn't ran by him, and it's mostly ran by the consulting company for his viral videos. I hope that's not true.
But you know, that shows great delegation, and leaders need good delegation skills.
True.
Right? Like if you know that you're the person who can make the decisions at the end of the day, then you need to be able to build the team that puts you in the place that can make you the person who makes those decisions.
Agreed.
And I think that he understands that, and I think that is what's so fascinating about him, is that he has really broken the model of like having to deliver the legislation first. No, he is very, very clear on the fact that you have to be in control of the communications first, because once you captivate your audience, it's kind of like an old Hollywood trick. Once you captivate your audience, you can lead them where you need them to go.
Yeah. I mean, it's basically propaganda. Like, how are you going to make it and to make it in the best light possible? I mean, in a way, with everyone kind of doing their own media now, you can shape your own message. You know what I mean? It's actually, it was interesting. I was talking to my dad about this, and he was like, well, how do we trust anything if it's social media is going to be just all AI? And I think that it is going to be, you know, a lot of AI and stuff in the future, but I think that it actually helps with politicians or content creators that are like human, that are like uniquely transparent and honest. It allows them to stand out more than like kind of like a heartless, you know, AI video. You know, there is something different. There's something organic about it that people can latch onto, you know, and I do think that
the invisible thread.
Yeah, people feel it. So people like Mamdani kind of stands out even more compared to like the videos of Trump rescuing the baby from the North Carolina floods, for example. It's like that's obviously fake, but there's something about Mamdani's video, the catchiness, the edits, that kind of thing. It really is. I should honestly need to like deep dive his editing skills. It's so good.
He does one thing I advise every politician to do, and we've never met each other, so if I could just formally introduce myself. My name's Stephen. I live with chronic myeloid leukemia. My medication costs $246,000 a year.
Holy!
I was diagnosed with this in the 2016 election when Trump won. That was the first time I got my first political awakening. And that's when I first got into the movement of like talking about healthcare and why it's such an important thing in people's lives. And I have traveled all over the country and I've helped get people elected in from city councils to state senators, US senators, and all sorts of people, just because I was so vigorous about like protecting healthcare. That said, one of the things I always told every single person that I advised on their campaigns is I was like, who is that one constituent, that one person who you know by name, you know their whole story, that's so visceral in your mind that it motivates you to go out? And you know, the campaigns that I advised who listened really did successfully is because that made them start listening in a much more EQ focused way rather than a polls tested way of like, oh yeah, I support this policy, I support that policy. And it's like, no, you know, Becky Smith, a young girl I've known since I was a kindergarten teacher, struggled with this disease and blah, blah, blah. And like, when you're able to talk about the patient and not the policy, you use the person as the tip of the spear to pass the policy.
Yeah.
Because it's not, for instance, I've been on Social Security disability for the last 7 years. I always tell Democrats, don't go out there and say that we need to save Social Security disability. Say we need to save Joanne Smith, David blah, blah, blah. You know, these are the people we're fighting for. And that EQ, it sounds corny, but it's such a chiropractic EQ adjustment for a lot of people. And it's the people we care about. It's not the policies. The policies save the people that we want, right? We have the emotional attachment to the people, not to the policy. And so lead with that. And I think Mamdani has illustrated that is the most successful way, because I can name like several different instances where he leads with a person's name first before he ever talks about the policy.
Yeah.
And that makes people feel so knitted together.
Do you know what's crazy? This is known in wildlife conservation. It's called keystone species. So keystone species are thing like if you wanted to protect jungles in India or something, you're going to just talk about jaguars, because people will want to, they love jaguars and they want to, you know, protect them. And now when they protect the jaguar, they protect the endangered plants and insects and amphibians as well, you know. So it's just something how humans work, where that just is a thing that we like to do. That's another the same way with pandas. Pandas were having a problem. They say their the territory is being taken down. Bamboo forests are being cleared. Well, now the panda starts showing up everywhere. You know, it's all in the same thing. You know, it's just a weird way that humans work.
The chairman of the CCP will tell you that the most important ambassadors from China in Washington, D.C. are the pandas.
Yeah.
And what did China do when they wanted to protect the panda species, wildlife? They sent pandas around the world and they gave them all names so that we would all cheer and root for them, you know?
And they pulled them. It was so funny. I was at the zoo, the San Diego Zoo, when we were there that day to see the pandas, the day that they were taken off exhibit because of the Trump trade war. they took them away. It was like, oh
and that was a huge deal.
Are you serious? Yeah, I remember that. It was freaking wild, man. It's so funny. But yeah, I think we are in a a new paradigm, and I'm thinking about this in terms of like the nonprofit that we're making right now. So we're basically creating the science version of ALEC. So ALEC gets big business and legislators in the same room, and I want to get scientists and engineers and physicians in the same room with legislators, trying to write or template science-based policies and educate legislators on scientific due diligence reports and technical analysis and that kind of stuff to try to pass science-minded legislation at the city and the state level. And thanks, Ukraine. And I've been thinking about this, like trying to figure out how to talk about and create media for this nonprofit. And I'm like, oh man, of course. At first I was like, I don't know if I want it to be like ALEC doesn't have a huge social media presence. Maybe we shouldn't either. And then I came to the realization this last week, and we were talking in the board meeting. I'm like, how else are we going to talk about the awesome things that we are doing? Like, nobody's going to give us money and think that we're a successful nonprofit if we're not on these streets, man, if we're not on social media talking about the awesome things that we're doing. So it's just,
by the way, don't
world.
talk about the awesome things that you're doing. Talk about the awesome things that are going to make Jimmy or Becky in neighborhood XYZ, it's going to make their lives better and make people fall in love with Jimmy and Becky before they ever really understand your policy, because Jimmy and Becky are going to be your greatest event. They're going to be your pandas.
Yeah. Well, I mean, our customers or our target are legislators themselves. So we're trying to, like, basically ALEC is really weird. Republican Congress people pay $200 every 2 years to get legislation that has already been pre-written for them, that they just basically put their name at the top and then sign and then put in, and they say,
yeah, I know it very well.
This is the American Legislative Exchange Council. And so it is so our goal is going to be to try to target at least the Democratic ones and to try to let see if
and you're creating a Democratic version of ALEC.
Well, it's nonpartisan, but we're science based. So, but yeah, we're a 501c3. So it's going to be so we'll see, man. It's good. Yeah, I'm finishing the 501. We've been working on it for like 6 months, and finishing up the 501c3 application today or tomorrow. And then
and is it like more like geared towards one particular policy arena, like ag or natural parks, or?
Yeah, it's a good question. I mean, we're focused on because the MAHA is focused on vaccines, raw milk, and fluoride. We're kind of in the same space, trying to advocate or template policies that would shore up vaccine access, shore up fluoride in the water, that kind of thing. There are like counter bills that are being passed in states, so we're basically trying to like point those out and use that.
Can I offer unsolicited advice?
Sure.
All of the MAHA stuff, if you really want to get rid of them, they can absolutely be decimated by one meteorite. And that is finding legislators that will eliminate the ability to make money off of vitamins that are unregulated by the FDA. That is the lifeblood of that whole movement.
It's very true, dude. That's so true. It's crazy how the markup,
it's all capitalism
stuff, exactly. The markup is like 800%, 900%, 1,000%, because it's like they're
and it can be absolute dog poop.
Yeah, exactly. It's like $100 for a rosemary tincture, that's like a little bottle, and you're like, what?
And by the way, like, if you want a rosemary tincture, great. I also want to make sure that your rosemary tincture does not have just the nastiest chemicals to grow your rosemary.
Exactly. Man.
Like I won't take a vitamin unless my doctor actually prescribes it for me and I get it from behind the counter, because at least I know if I get it from behind the counter that it's not going to have toxic heavy metals in it.
Yeah, there's a lot of like the unregulated it's bigger. The global wellness grift is larger than the market cap of pharmaceutical companies.
Yeah, that's 100% true.
It is like it's crazy big. People have no idea. People have really no idea of how insanely problematic.
Yeah, if you want to eliminate the MAHA conspiracies, eliminate the profit motivation around unregulated vitamins.
Yeah, exactly.
Cut off the funding. They'll cut off the conspiracies.
Yeah, I think that there's a lot of and it's what's crazy is that so many of them in like RFK's administration, like basically all of them have like some supplement that they're selling too. They all have some grift that they're doing, like ivermectin boxes, whatever it is, prophylactic.
By the way, ivermectin, great drug or medication, great medication for what it treats.
Yeah. Like scabies, it's really important. People that had legitimate medical problems couldn't get ivermectin because there was a massive shortage because people were eating too much of it and going to the hospital.
Yes. Yep.
It's very, very frustrating.
Yeah. I'm just waiting for the moment when Congress is ready for that conversation.
I think the thing is that it's happening already, but it's happening like the MAHA stuff is happening, but it's at the state level. So there's like, when I started this in October, it was like 438 anti-vaccine, anti-fluoride, pro raw milk bills all throughout the country, and we're down to like 250. So they failed spectacularly. And they haven't been able to pass a lot of this stuff because a lot of it is just nonsense, like nonsensical stuff, like mRNA vaccines are bioweapons and stuff like that, where it's just like it's like a joke, right? But
well, it is a joke, but however, you should always take the person who believes it seriously and treat them with respect, because that also helps unwind it. Because if they don't feel threatened by you, they will place trust in you, and that's the one thing that the MAHA movement doesn't want, is for the people that they're scamming to place trust in you.
Yeah.
And over time, that trust can lead to people coming out of the movement.
True. Yeah. I think there's a huge rift right now in MAHA, which is really interesting. Like all of the ways that they've increased like glyphosate production, protected it, PFAS chemical, like pesticides. It's just, it goes on and on and on. And RFK obviously doesn't actually believe the things that he says, because he hasn't like outlawed vaccines. If they're as dangerous as what he's saying, you would just ban it outright, but he doesn't. Because of what? Because he knows that he's lying.
Well, he expanded glyphosate under the FDA. He's expanded all sorts of pesticides under that administration. He's stopped monitoring like the quality checks of things, and now we have a huge diarrhea outbreak across the United States, entering into the hundreds of thousands of people infected at the moment.
Exactly.
I'm sorry, but the Bacardi King, you seem to have a lot of opinions. There are lots of request boxes up here.
Yeah, we'll let him up. He's sure. Let's see.
Hey, Stephen, I have requested 10 minutes ago to talk to you about how you're stupid.
All right. All right, he's just sloshed, dude. So,
he's drunk.
Yeah, it's all right. Go home. go home. All right, man. Well, Steve, thanks for coming up, man. I really appreciate you.
Hey, Dr. Greg, thank you so much. I'm going to give you a follow. It's a pleasure talking to you. I'd love to talk to you again in the future.
Yeah, likewise, man. I appreciate you. Have a good one. Bye.
You too.
All right, guys. Thank you for hanging out. Always nice to meet new people. Bacardi, just come back when you're sober, bro. I debate people all the time, but you just got to be sober, man. It's not a fun conversation when you're belligerent. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? You know what I mean? Sleep it off. Yeah, I know. It's always so funny because like drunk people always think that they're the coolest people in the room, and yet sober people can't stand those people. You know what I mean? It's like they couldn't be two completely diametrically opposed forces in the world. You know, thinking you're the coolest person in the world, but then also everyone thinks you're the biggest loser in the world, you know? But hey, we've all been there, man. We've all been there. So, okay, let's finish this. Democracy Now, the War on Peace report.
We live in a political system that is not built for normal people. It is a system that is built structurally to make sure that movements like ours cannot flourish.
Like, what are you talking? Like, what is this? Again, he's like this movement. Like, bro, you had a 2-month campaign. Like I'm sorry. Like, I think this is a movement to you. You know what I mean? I understand that you're speaking hyperbolically here, but like, bro, come on, man. Like, come on, dude. Like, and you literally won the primary. How are you? Like, what are you talking about that they wouldn't let you win? You did win.
That if they begin to succeed, they can be crushed.
The main Democrat.
And why is he on the side of a freeway? Like, what? You just like pulled over? Like, what is this? What is the location of this? He couldn't have gone inside, a little calmer, a little quieter, a little like something. Nothing. This is the best place that you could do this. Oh my. Plattner was a lot of vibes. I mean, it was 100% vibe based, and again, I do actually really appreciate and get a lot of the things that he's talking about. You know what I mean? Like reclaiming masculinity, that type of stuff. Like I try to do the same stuff. You know what I mean? It was my content. That's why that's one of the reasons why I live stream in the gym, you know, because I want people to be pushing for a better community around them, but then also trying to improve themselves too. And a lot of people get inspired when they see me working out to work out themselves, to move a little bit more, and that just makes that change that much easier, you know. And so a lot of the things I get what he's talking about, but masculinity also doesn't assault women, right? But masculinity doesn't. You're not a predator to your partners, to your sexual partners, to your girlfriends, to your wives. You know what I mean? And the fact that there is a string like of events, like, come on, man. You get consent. Yeah, Dan. And it's more than that. And because he got like this whole thing started, this whole second event happened when apparently he got texted that, you know, his partner at the time, or fling or something, whatever. It was like they were together on and off again for months or something, that like she needed a glute massage or something. And then said that, I don't want you to come over. Don't come over. And he took that as, okay, I'm going to go to her house. I'm going to open the door. I'm going to go upstairs and we're doing the thing. And you're like, off of one text message, bro? Off of one text message? Like, what? She says no. And he still goes through with it. Like, come on, dude. Masculinity is about protecting the people around you, not hurting them. You should be their safe place, not the thing that they need saving from. Yeah, Chase. Yeah. I think I agree. I think it's like the thing is that men need to be able to self-regulate, right? Like the problem in this scenario and in every scenario where men are the sexual predator is with the men. I don't understand how this is other streams and other content creators are talking and they're creating this whole thing about, well, she did say this thing and she let him on, and you know, is it fair to him that we're this rough on him? Like, bro, I mean, the problem is with him, right? It's not with her sending a text message. That doesn't give you carte blanche to do whatever you want for however many periods of time, you know? That's like, it's so gross. That's so, there's so much wrong with that. There's so much wrong with it, man. And it's especially not the fault of some Mossad conspiracy that he's pushing, dude. Like, come on, man.
Democratic Party says it's planning a nominating convention of hundreds to choose a new Senate nominee. The party has
Dude, this is
of hundreds to choose a new Senate.
I'm telling you, my conspiracy is he's doing this in order to make his wife like feel better about whatever impropriety he had. It's like I'm telling you, because the other one had just happened right before they like got together or something, and he cheated on her, and he's like, it feels like he is doing whatever he can to like cleanse his soul of the impropriety. You know what I mean? It's very weird. It feels very weird and forced. I supported Platinum before hearing that stuff, but it wasn't hard to drop him off with all the stuff before. Exactly, his tattoo, bro. Like there's so many different outlets that you could have had, right? The tattoo, the sexual assault on his ex, sexual assault with his partner, like, and it's just there's, I mean, I'll be honest, when I do this, I'll be honest, and I did put money on him. I did put money on Susan Collins when the first allegations came out, because I was like, oh, this is over. Like, there's no way. And yeah, I'm up massively. So so yeah, but hey, you know what I mean? You win some, you lose some. So it just was, it was not that much. It's like $20, but it's like, you know, it's so obvious, man. It shouldn't be this obvious and easy to you just smell it and you're like, this guy seems like a weirdo, and it is.
Senate nominee. The party has until July 27th to name a candidate. Possible senatorial contenders include Maine Governor Janet Mills.
I do feel like it's interesting. The old person that from the last time is not on here. It's not on here. She isn't on here. She must have just like not wanted it at all, which is kind of interesting.
Secretary of State Shanna Bellows and Dr. Nirav Shah, a public health official who led Maine's response to COVID, as well as progressive Troy Jackson, a lifetime logger and former president.
Oh yeah, that's right, the logger. I love the idea that they're going through just like blue collar, like, you know what I mean? Like blue collar workers just being like, okay, who's you? It'd be like the California senator dropped out. Like, we need a surfer. Like, oh, the surfer broke their leg, they can't do it. Okay, get a skateboarder in there. Okay, oh man, the skateboarder is injured. What are we gonna do now? Get a snowboarder in there. And you're like, what's are we just going like this no stereotypical thing? Cherry, let's go. How's it going? I don't like him from the start. My black woman friends were like hard no from the beginning. Yeah. Yeah, Cherry. I think the Nazi tattoo is a big, strong, weird vibes from me. You know what I mean? I don't. It's odd to me that you even have. That's a weird sentence to say, but that is a weird one that made me get the ick. Yeah. Yes. Exactly. Some dumb beats. Yeah. I didn't want to pile on, but yeah, TYT is like strong defending Plattner right now, basically saying that it's Mossad and Israel that's like that's coming after him. And you're like just wild, dude. Like, it's wild. I do think I'm not I'm not I'm not blaming women at all here. I do think that there should be we should help women report more of these crimes. Genuinely. Like, I think that there is like a problem in the fact that so many of these do go unreported and untried. I think that that's a big problem. I'm not blaming the women at all. I think that we need to help them, right? We need to figure out ways to make it easier for them to come forward. I don't know how what kind of incentive that would even be. I don't even know what kind of program that would be, but I do feel I feel like it just happens too much. I feel like we have to do something to stop this scourge that that is impacting women too often, and they go silent and live with this stuff for too long. And she's the Plattner's second accuser, was talking about this, how she didn't want to come out until now. New York Times article, it wasn't something, but he's kind of, he won the nomination, so now she does feel like an onus to come out. Didn't want to do it because she agrees with his politics. So I think it's a tough conversation to have, but it is like we need to like support women in coming forward however we can. And we think we have to reform a lot of this, maybe like reform how it's done. I do feel like there's an aspect to it. I've heard that like one of the big problems is like having to relitigate and relive that moment for a long time, going through the court proceedings and stuff. And I don't think that that's fair either. So, it's tough, guys. It is tough. It's unfortunate. It's unfortunate that men are putting us in a position that this is even talked about. You know what I mean? That's the problem. The problem is with the men. Many are being raped by their partners, not straight. Exactly, Deanne. A lot of them, the majority of sexual assaults and victims are from family members. Exactly, and their partners, and so it's atrocious. It's atrocious.
Of Maine's state Senate. In other Senate news, questions continue to swirl about Kentucky Senator Mitch McConnell's health. He's been hospitalized since June 14th. McConnell had... Guys,
I mean, there was a news report. There was news about obviously there's Mitch McConnell news going on, but allegations that he's been brain dead for maybe weeks, but there's also reports about Trump being brain dead for over 10 years, guys. It's really sad. It's just, it is we've only lived every single day of it, and we've seen every single time with every single one of Trump's actions. But I do feel like he's been propped up. There's some Wizard of Oz stuff going on there, you know. How's a hospital worker or something not leaked anything? I mean, Ghostbusters, that is like you're losing your license, you're losing everything. And to the real is that like nurses are in large majority, like the large majority, doing that because they genuinely care about people, and they genuinely care about giving everyone the best care possible. And they know that even a famous person deserves some type of dignity in death, you know. And I think that that's just a testament to how good nurses are in our society and how awesome they are. That's not happening. You know what I mean? Oh wow, Michael! I had no idea. My uncle. I'm gonna read it if you don't mind, Michael. Thank you for saying this in YouTube chat. My uncle groomed me. I guess I was okay. I came out okay, but I wasn't touched or anything. But it took me 25 years for me to tell my dad. Wow. 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 Well, thank you, Michael, for sharing. That's really sad. That's tough, man. That's really tough. Yeah, I think that that's a part of it too. Is like, I think like all kids should be going through therapy. I really do. I think that like it should be just boilerplate, like that kids just go talk to someone, you know, maybe to find stuff like that, maybe just to unpack things, you know. I think that makes sense too. That's not dignity. Well, I mean, the fact that he's like not having his stuff leaked and his pictures being exposed there, I think that's dignified. If you're a public official and you can't prove you're alive after a month, you should probably be removed. That's a good point. Like it's yeah, dude. I do feel like it's kind of weird. Michael, if it helps someone else to know what I went through, I want them to be better positioned than I was. That's really brave of you, Michael. Thank you, man. Thank you. Exactly. I totally agree. I think it's really important. I've gone to therapists multiple times in my life, and it's greatly impacted me. I definitely recommend it. And so I talk about mental health a lot, you know, and how it's important. It's extremely important, you know, and people minimize it, saying that there's somehow, dude, stop the stupidity. 5 gifted again. Are you serious? Oh my gosh. Dude, stop the stupidity. Thank you, bro. Thank you so much, man. Your generosity. Guys, you need to be hanging out in YouTube chat, man. Thank you so much. Stop the stupidity. But yeah, you know, therapy has helped me with my relationship with my dad, with my wife. We did pre-marriage counseling, you know, coaching before we even had any problems, you know, so it was good there. I did it when I had like my mental breakdown in grad school. So there's a lot of benefits to that. And especially, you know, if you had anything happen in your in your past, I think it's only a benefit, you know. It's only a benefit. All right. Okay. 1 second here. Okay, let's go back to it.
The Senate Defense Appropriations Subcommittee and is the former Senate Majority Leader. McConnell.
Guys, this is the video. I didn't even pause it. He's stuck here. He's stuck. I'm just kidding. Sorry. Dude, I'm sorry, guys. I don't. Mitch McConnell is like one of the most evil people in the world, man. I'm sorry, but like he literally, like, he is a beeline from like Mitch McConnell to Trump, and he was basically the blueprint for doing whatever you want in government and then figuring out later the justification that you need in order to ad hoc, the justification. And he's genuinely an evil person. And the problem is that there's a lot of people that really didn't start paying attention in politics until 2016. And Mitch McConnell was a very, very evil person for 10 years before that. So it's extremely important that people realize how he's genuinely an awful person. Stop the stupidity. Definitely help, but if you to get help if you need it, or to help people that do, losing people you care about is the worst. Yeah. Yeah, exactly, man. Yeah, for grief counseling, I haven't gone for my mom yet. I kind of like I still think I want to. I think I should. It's been almost a year. I think it's in September that she died. So, um yeah. I still want to go at some point, just to kind of I think you can always go, and it's always a productive experience, and the thing with therapy, which is really interesting, you don't have to go like every day for a year or something. You know what I mean? It can be like a couple of good sessions and you have a good therapist and they ask the right questions that just kind of unlocks things in your brain. And you're like, oh, okay, that is a good way of seeing things. That is a good way of actually doing something. And it, because the thing is a lot of people have mental health services through their employer, and they'll only have 2 or 3 in a year or something, and they'll think, oh, it's not enough, why would I want to go? And I'm telling you that it's worth it. Even if you can only go 2 or 3 times a year, it's still worth it. And if you can go back to the same person, you don't have to have like that break-in period. It's really nice. It is really nice. Okay, let's go back to Mitch McConnell. Alive?
To retire after his term ends in January.
Oh my God, dude, this video is just shocking, dude. This guy is going through something. He's just, we've all seen this guy. We've all seen this guy. If you've been to a rave, you've seen this guy. All right, this guy's that 1,000-yard stare, just trying to stay 2 feet. You know what I mean? It's like, bro, just sit down. Just sit down, drink some water, bro. Are you okay? And he's just like staring it down. And it's like, a street light or something, and he's just like staring the street light down. And you're like, bro, chill.
Wednesday, Kentucky's Democratic governor, Andy Beshear, sent a letter to Senator McConnell demanding he provide a health update. Meanwhile, McConnell's wife, Elaine Chao, the former U.S. Labor and Transportation Secretary, has returned home from a trip to China.
Dude, they're just... What are these clips that they're playing for him? This is like the worst in the last. This is just like the last month, guys. I mean, he has deteriorated very quickly.
She had faced criticism for remaining in China after McConnell was hospitalized. In a statement, she wrote, quote, "The senator's health did not warrant an immediate return to the U.S."
Can you imagine? Dude, if I was in like my deathbed and she's like, nah, like I'll go on your next deathbed. You know what I mean? Like I'll get you on the next one. I'll like joke like, for my my friend's wedding that I never wanted to go to or something, I'd be like, oh, I'll just get you on the next wedding. You know what I mean? In China. I know, exactly. She's vacationing in China. And then she's like, I don't know, bro. I can't even, I don't even know. I don't even listen.
She said. A federal judge has ruled that E. Jean Carroll can collect $5.8 million from President Donald Trump. The money has been held in escrow since a jury found Trump sexually abused and defamed her. The judge's ruling comes a week after the U.S. Supreme Court declined to hear Trump's appeal of the verdict. E. Jean Carroll had sued Trump for sexually assaulting her in a department store dressing room in the 1990s.
Oh, I did see that, Ghostbusters, that Ken Paxton was vacationing with his mistress in London. Yeah, wild, dude. Wild. Hey, I think Ghostbusters, I give it up to Ken Paxton. All right. Guys, at least Ken Paxton is, I think it's the first Republican that to my knowledge, I think this is true, guys. I need a fact check, but I need a fact check for sure. But I do think that Ken Paxton is the first Republican to have a mistress that is a woman, which is incredible. So give it up. They mostly like do rent boys and which is awesome. I'm nothing against that, but I think it's truly the first of age woman to have an affair with a Republican. So I think that's a big news. Good for him, man. Or maybe Rent Boy. I think they're doing Rent Boys, rentboy.com. Yeah. Dr. Greg 10 referral link in my bio. If you go there, you can get buy one get one free. Sorry. No, it's not buy one get one free. It's just a straight 20% off right now. That already went. The 4th of July sale already went, so that doesn't work. He has a Grinder account. Yeah. I tried to make a joke, but it didn't work. That's it. That didn't work. In this economy, in this economy, it's not a rent boy anymore. Yeah, it's true. It's even worse. It's even worse. It's like you can't even rent them. No discount. No discount. Yeah. Oh man. Yeah, yeah, exactly. Some dumb in YouTube chats. Some glass ceilings are meant to be broken. Exactly. See, guys, you don't have to do that stuff to be a Republican. Yeah, it's just fun. You know what I mean? It's just fun.
The family of Lorenzo Salgado Araujo is demanding an independent investigation into his death. The Mexican father was fatally shot in Houston, Texas on Tuesday by an ICE agent who was driving an unmarked vehicle.
Dude, this is like, this actually triggers me so much because this guy died just in the same way that other people did, but it's just not on camera. We don't see it. And now it's just not a thing. Like, what?
Lorenzo Salgado Araujo had lived in the United States for decades and was driving a
35 years, guys. 35 years. Had a family. Like, dude's just working hard. This is the true American story, man.
Construction crew to a job site. His son Ronaldo spoke Wednesday.
He did not deserve to die. He did not deserve to be reduced to a headline of Mexican man shot and killed by ICE. He deserved to live a quiet life as Lorenzo Salgado Araujo, a husband, a father, and a job creator for dozens of men who also wanted the American dream.
That's right.
I would be doing his memory a disservice if I didn't recognize the other 3 men who were with him, one of which was my uncle. All 3 men were rounded up. I have not heard from them.
Oh my God.
We'll go.
That's so sad. Oh, dude, it's just like, this is what I was saying. Like, I was in this debate. Oh, I didn't have the thing on, but I was in this debate on Manda's Live, and it's like, MAGA don't have American values because they don't think that American values apply to anyone else that they don't agree with politically, right? So they see this family, right? And they think, well, these guys aren't American. They shouldn't be here. The things that we want and real America don't include them. So we need to cut them out. That's what they're thinking, right? And it's like quintessential anti-American xenophobia. That is not how the American story has gone up until now, right? And this is the fake history that MAGA relies on, right? That they point to this fake notion of America as this Norman Rockwell painting where we were apparently all white nation at some point when we weren't. Okay, we never were, right? And the MAGA nation that they are trying to build has never existed inside of America, and it never will exist inside of America. And the Republicans are fighting for a better country, but country has a big asterisk next to it because it's whether or not you're allowed in that country that matters, right? And that's the biggest thing for me. It's like they're fighting to kick people out of the American story. That is not how it works, man. You don't get to do that. It's crazy. So Citizen Vigilante, no, I haven't seen it.
Go to Texas for more on the story later in the broadcast. In Tennessee, a DEA agent shot and killed a man at a Memphis motel Wednesday as members of a federal task force attempted to serve him an arrest warrant. The U.S. Marshals Service alleges the suspect had pointed a gun at agents. The victim has not been identified. It's the fourth deadly shooting by agents with the Trump administration's so-called Memphis Safe Task Force, which includes members of the Tennessee National Guard and officers from more than a dozen federal agencies. On Monday, 2 National Guard soldiers fatally shot 20-year-old Tyron Johnson as he was being pursued by Memphis police. His family's demanding video evidence corroborating the police claims that Johnson first attempted to fire a gun at the soldiers. Just weeks earlier, a Homeland Security special agent shot 25-year-old Jonah Neal in his Memphis home. Neal's family had called 911 to report he had a gun and was threatening to harm himself. He was pronounced dead at the scene. And on May 13th, the DEA agent fatally shot 41-year-old Darren Pegram as he worked his shift at a Memphis Burger King. Authorities say the officer opened fire after Pegram reached into his waistband for a gun. His family says he was unarmed and shot in the back. And a former Wisconsin County judge has been spared prison time after she was convicted in federal court of obstructing federal agents from arresting an undocumented immigrant. Hannah Dugan was accused of helping the immigrant leave her courtroom in April 2025 to avoid arrest by agents waiting in the hallway. Instead of serving prison time, former Judge Dugan was fined $5,000. And those are some of the headlines.
Man. Oh, guys. So frustrating. Yeah, exactly. Shot in the back. Sounds like murder. Exactly. Stop the stupidity. Like what in the world, man? All right, guys. Well, I need to call it an early night just to get ready. Good news tomorrow. I have a meeting with an acting agency and an acting and modeling agency, and then another job interview for a scientist job. So it's good news. Thank you. Oh, thank you, Ronnie the Walker. Thank you. What's crazy is that people will sue and our taxpayers' dollars will pay for it. Exactly. No negative outcome. Exactly, Chase. Like they're going roughshod, man. And like what's so offensive to me is that they're acting like judge, jury, and executioner too. Like they think that just because someone is doing something illegal, therefore they have the ability to do whatever they want to that person. And it's insane. W democracy now. Yeah, exactly, F1. Thank you so much. Guys, we need to get into political consulting. Like how do they make money? I don't understand. Like how do they make money? Do you know what I mean? I don't get it. This is the main cats guy. He's a college dropout. Went into the entertainment industry. He's an advisor, top advisor to the Mamdani campaign. Similar backgrounds, Katz was persuaded to join Mamdani by his ideas on inequality. He conceived themed television ads for the campaign, including one based on Law and Order, Golden Bachelor, and New York Knicks games. Though Katz's main work was making ads for the campaign, he also brokered conversations within political leaders, with the Jewish leaders. Mamdani's campaign began by polling in the single digits, led to his win, blah, blah, blah. Following Mamdani's win in the general election, Katz commented to NPR on the hesitation of many in the Democratic Party to endorse him, saying that, quote, anyone who's scared to congratulate Zohran publicly or privately is very unlikely to be the nominee for president in 2028. Until late 2025, Katz lied about his age, representing himself as 2 years older than he actually was. So he's only 27. Oh my gosh. That's wild. Oh, thank you, Stop the Stupidity. Thank you, man. Thank you. Yeah, I hope it's a science job for robots and sequencing. So we'll see how that goes. I think it's gonna go well. It's really just a introductory, kind of like the HR interview before you go into like the real interview. So should be fine. I'll do sure, Sanish. I can like if you can paste it now, I can look at it. I should get into politics. Thank you, Sanish. We're creating a nonprofit organization to help that. We're doing that right now, Sanish. We are a community that is engaged in politicking, or we're technically educating legislators. Nice, dude. I like this. Oh, you're into chess? I had no idea. Dude, that's cool. Oh, what's up, Keith? How's it going, man? Just in time. How's it going? Oh, cool, dude. Cool, dude. I love it. Domain AI. I love it. It's rad. Dude, that's awesome. Sinish, this is looking great. Good job, man. Yeah, the interview, I have one at 9:20 in the morning, and then another one at 2. So like just gonna take a nap in between. Got to get the kids to school. Oh, well, I need to get the kids to camp as early as possible, and then yeah, that's it. That's it. So yeah, I think it's gonna go well. I think it's gonna go well. I think the modeling and acting stuff should be easy. I don't know what they're expecting from me, to be honest with you. I have no idea what to do. So it's gonna be kind of weird. And then, but it's for commercial acting. Thanks. Oh, thanks, Justin Time. Thank you. I appreciate you being in chat. So yeah, man. Yeah. But I gotta get going, guys. I gotta be up early. I gotta get the kids in bed so I can get back as soon as I can, so I can be on the call. So, all right, guys. Thank you so much for being here. I appreciate you, dude. Stop the stupidity. Thank you so much for your generosity, man. Thank you seriously so much. F-on, thank you so much too. Stop the stupidity. I think you're amazing. Thank you. I really, really appreciate you. And yeah, guys, we'll see you tomorrow for the panel. We're gonna be doing the science panel tomorrow at 9 o'clock. And yeah, that's it. Right? All right, guys. Have a good one. Peace. Be nice to someone. Bye.